All right, we'll go ahead and get started. We're joined by tonight's race-winning crew chief of the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet, Kevin Meendering, and Jeff Gordon, vice chairman of Hendrick Motorsports. We'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Just raise your hand. We'll get you a wireless mic. Any questions? All right, start up here with Bob and then Mike.
Bob Parker, Fox Sports. I have one for each. Kevin, first, just what does this mean to you on a personal level, getting a win as a crew chief?
It's a big accomplishment, but like I said before, this isn't about me. This is about this team. They got a great group of guys here. They got a great leader in Cliff, and I was just happy to kind of fill a gap and help those guys out in a tough situation. But this is a testament to all the hard work from those guys on that team and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports.
And for Jeff, this is Ricky Hendrick's birthday day, and I'm curious, what do you see in Hendrick Motorsports that still today that he had an impact on?
Yeah, I think, days like today makes you wonder, what Ricky's presence would do for us, if he was here with us today, and what his leadership, he was so passionate about Hendrick Motorsports and racing. And so it's nice days like today, when you do something special on his birthday. And I was talking to Rick, and he was emotional and excited. And so, his presence is still here. And I think that, certainly our folks try to do everything they can to make, Rick Hendrick proud. But when you know what Ricky's impact could have been on our company and the people, and the 5-car and that paint scheme and what that means to the whole company, it's very rewarding to know that we're still kind of thinking of him and paying tribute to him as often as we can, and maybe he's looking down on us as well. Right, I do want to say one thing about he's going to shove all the credit to me. What I love about seeing a guy like Kevin come in and do this is the depth of our people and our company. We've been put under really, really difficult circumstances with all 4 crew chiefs being out, and just the job that I've watched them do, how they've communicated, getting. I mean, we're lucky we have people that have been crew chiefs that have a lot of experience, but at the same time, with this car, with no practice, no qualifying, there's so much that has to be done to tie everything together. So, great job to Kevin for the hard work that he's put in, as well as he's still doing his other job, too, in that contribution.
Mike Emery from NBC Sports. Kevin, with all that was going on there in the last 30, 40, 50 laps, cautions and and all, how were you dealing with the tire question? Was there any doubt that you would come in almost whenever you could to get new tires?
Actually, that last set of tires we put on was our last set, so we were starting to run out of tires, but the laps were winding down. It was we kind of planned it out, and we had a strategy going into the race, and then it kind of worked out in our favor. With about 20 to go, we put our last set on, and that's probably late enough in the race where we wouldn't have to worry about having to put another set on. So it just kind of fell in our favor.
How dramatic was the fall off 5, 10 laps into it?
I mean, you kind of saw with the 19, he didn't have any stickers left there at the end, and he kind of dropped pretty quickly. So there's definitely a lot of fall off, especially the first 5, 10 laps. It's pretty considerable, but we were kind of on the same strategy as majority of the field, so tire-wise, we were in a good spot.
All right, we'll go to Nathan and then over here in the middle.
Nathan Song with the podium finish. Jeff, this is for you. With Josh finishing second today, obviously he's been in the car the last month or so in place at Chase. Just what's the growth you've seen out of him in these races he's been in the 9-car?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's done a great job every time he's been in the car, and you start to see a bit of a trend with him. Of course, we didn't do him any favors by him, starting 30th today, and we made one adjustment there early that didn't seem to go the right direction. They got even further behind. So to see them climb up through there and the car come to life, and then, of course, staying out there paid off and caught the caution. But, Josh, when you look at his lap times, he's a guy that he gets in there, he fills the car out, doesn't take too many risks or chances until he knows what he has. and then you just start to see the lap times come and build, and the run start to come together. And every time I'm scanning, I kept hearing by the end of the run, hey, those lap times are really good. Hey, those lap times are similar to the leaders. So, he clearly knows how to manage tires and manage a race well. It seems like the longer the race, the better he does. And so, we're really happy with the job that he's done. And certainly, everybody's known his talent. You'll watch him in other forms of racing, late models, but in the Xfinity Series. But when you got to put him in other cars with other teams and other people to really see how far he can take it. So I think he's got a future in the Cup Series.
Go over here in the middle.
Yes, Barry, Richmond Piedmont Broadcast and WAKG. That was the question I was going to ask, but Jeff, for you as a driver to driver, what's the significance of this young man at this point to have that level of success with an organization like Hendrick Motorsports?
Yeah, most young guys, right, they come in and they have to build up their experience and their knowledge and the confidence and everything else, and hope you get the chance to be in quality equipment. Even when I came in, it was at Hendrick, but it was a whole new team and brand new people, and so it took us a while to build that. To truly measure somebody's talent, you plug them into an existing top caliber team, and that's what has taken place here. And then you say, okay, let's see what you can do. And clearly he's been proving that, he has the talent and the ability, as well as the work ethic. I think, that's what you don't see behind the scenes. He's a quiet guy, but behind the scenes he's doing all the things that he needs to do to get prepared. And he's still running Xfinity too and trying to win a championship over there. So great job by him.
Jeff, Trey Lyle, Virginia Talk Radio Network. Given this week and how, the points penalty got rescinded, you get the 10 playoff points back, and then you end up winning the race. Like, what are the emotions kind of as a team? You get 3 cars in the top 10. William led a bunch of laps today. It has to feel good, kind of. You have 4 cars theoretically earned the most points this week because they got 100 back, and they had a really good day.
Well, I'm probably looking at it a little bit different than you are, because I don't know that we should have ever had the points taken away to begin with. But, it's been a good week. It's been really stressful trying to, to prep for an appeal and not knowing what the outcome is going to be. And we're certainly happy with, what the appeals committee came to that conclusion. But at the same time, we feel like we laid out enough information there that it shouldn't have ever happened, or even the monetary side of it and the crew chief side of it. We were really hoping we were going to get all of that back, but we're gonna move on from that, and then we come in here obviously with qualifying raining out that paid off in more ways than one. And good track position, and then fast race cars. And I mean, once the green flag dropped, it's all about those teams executing and doing their job. But certainly quite a few smiles around campus this day, and they've been down with what happened, and so that definitely re-energized our folks this week and coming into this weekend's race. And certainly this win will do a lot for us as we move forward and go to Bristol.
Come up front to Al.
Yeah, Al Pierce from Auto Week. For either of you guys or both, excuse me, have you heard from Cliff yet? And was he in contact with you throughout the day, or Jeff with you, or have you heard from him yet?
I've not seen or heard from Cliff. I don't know if Kevin
No,
has.
I haven't either, but I mean, obviously we've been in contact with him throughout the weekend and remotely. So no, this is a big win for him as well as all of us.
Yeah, I guarantee you he's jumping up and down and excited. I was thinking about Cliff, though, during the race when Kyle made the contact with Suarez. I was seeing Cliff throw things wherever he was, and then I could see him jumping up, down, screaming and yelling when the win happened.
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll come right over here.
Randy Holman from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. You guys, you've got 3 wins for the team and 5 for the Chevy camp. in 7 races so far. Are we on the cusp of a historic season for Chevy and for Hendrick?
Well, it's too early to tell. I mean, certainly off to a great start, and you know, our folks at Chevy are doing an amazing job with, you know, not only the design of this car starting last year, but also some of the new things that have been brought to all the OEMs and the opportunities that they've had. I think Chevy did an excellent job with that as well. So, you know, and then the job that the teams do collaborating together, you know, sharing information and trying to prepare for each and every race. And they've done an amazing job. You know, you could have looked at that race today, and there were times where the Gibbs Toyotas were the best cars on the long run. You know, you had times when I thought the 22 was really, really good. The 4 was good. So, you know, I think there is a lot of parity out there, but you know, right now, I just like the way that I'm seeing our teams execute and our teams come prepared, and the speed that are in our race cars, and you know, doesn't seem like we're the only Chevy team, you know, seeing that, so that's good.
Adam Cheek, frontrich.com. Jeff, you're a guy that's won at Richmond before. We saw you come up to Josh and congratulate him after the race. How have you seen him grow in the races he's done with Hendrick, and what did you guys talk about Richmond at all in preparation for this?
I've been pretty tied up this week, I'll be honest. So that's been, you know, with Tom Gray and with Alan Gustafson and that whole team. All I know is them bragging on him a lot about, you know, the effort that he's putting in, the things that he's focused on, and even watching video from last year when maybe they didn't even ask him to, and he just kind of took the initiative to do that. So today, I think every race gets his confidence up, but you know, you go into a new track, different track every time, and so you know, it's okay. What's the car going to be like this weekend? Okay, what's it going to be like this weekend? You threw Atlanta in there on him too, and that's a pretty unique one. But it's a much different car than what he's used to racing every weekend, and so there's a lot of things that you have to adapt completely different to. I'm not even sure if Saturday's not hurting him for the Sunday races, because the cars are so much different. The sidewall, you know, the tires, the rear independent rear suspension. Just to me, going from an H pattern transmission to a sequential would throw me off. You know, big brakes, car doesn't have a lot of downforce. You can't put the skew in it. I mean, there's a lot of things that are different about what he's doing. So I love his approach, and it's turning into results, which I'm sure is turning into confidence for him as he continues to go to each track that he's going to be behind the wheel of the car.
We'll go to Jordan, then Mike, then back over here.
Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic. I apologize if this has already been asked, but what do you think was the reason you guys were successful when you guys with the appeal on Wednesday?
Well, I just think, you know, we were very transparent from the beginning of you know, why we believe there was a miscommunication and what happened. And I feel I said this at Atlanta, it should have never even come to that. I don't want to give up too much information because I want to respect the process. But it's also a little frustrating that nothing gets shared from what, you know, determines whether there's points given back or whether there's money not given back, and, you know, crew chief suspension. So, you know, I just feel like there was enough there that it's not clear cut. It's not just a black and white situation, because there was enough communication to justify why we showed up to the racetrack in Phoenix the way we did. And I think that you know, had it been handled in a situation more like the wheels at Daytona with RFK and Penske, I think, you know, that's the way it should have been handled. I understand it. There's a reason why you did this, and there's also a reason why you need to take them off the car, but it should never, to me, elevate it up to the level that it did. And clearly the panel felt very similar to that.
Go to Mike.
Jeff, you're shuffling papers now and writing budgets and things and running the show. But how different are the emotions for you with these wins from when you were driving?
It's much different. I mean, you know, when you're in the car, the adrenaline and working with these guys and seeing what they put into it, you know, you're a part of the effort that's on the racetrack, and there's an emotion that you'll never be able to compare to. But I can tell you that when, you know, we win a championship like we did in, you know, 20 and 21. You know, to me, those are very, very exciting moments for me where I felt like I was driving. You know, today it's exciting and it's emotional, but it's mainly just seeing these guys do their job and do it well, do it at a high level, and stepping up when the pressure's on, and, you know, whether it's a pit call or whether it's a restart or it's a pit stop. You know, whatever it may be, that's you just feel pride. You know, you feel pride in the organization because you see how they work throughout the week, over the off season, and what they're focused on, and then seeing that turn into results. And I know everybody works hard in this garage area and probably deserves to have great results. But when you do get it, you know, you just feel extremely fortunate to work with such great people and have such great people on the race teams, as well as behind the wheel.
All right, we'll come right over here.
Stephen Sykes, Alive in Global Media. There's been a lot of talk earlier this season about the new next generation cars and, you know, more vent holes for more breathing into the car for safety. How did you feel any of that had any effect towards your strategy for this year's race versus previous races?
You want to take that one? Not sure I completely understand the question.
There's a lot of changes with the next gen cars, and how did that affect?
For this year, you mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say this, you know, I think it was the 15 car backed into the wall earlier, and you saw the rear of the car collapse. And that's, I think, what the drivers are asking, right, is to have it absorb more, because we're still not seeing any real progress when you're at places like COTA, or, you know, earlier in the year when we were at the Clash, with guys just running straight into their bumpers. So at low impacts, I don't think that there's been, you know, significant you know, progress there. But there's a lot of discussions happening to fix that, and I'm happy about that. But if that's the changes that you're talking about, then I did at least see you know, something good happen there.
What will be the next set of changes you would like to see for you and your team?
Well, I think there's a lot of technology in head support, foam padding, and absorption, and so they have to do these like drop tests where they, you know, kind of the helmet design, inner padding, the headrest itself, and then I think, and Kevin should be answering it because he knows about structures of car. He's an engineer. I just know from a race car driver, I'm seeing these guys. They're taking these small hits, and their head is whiplashing inside the car, and that's not good. And so I think the rear bumper structure and the front bumper structure is far too stiff still. And so I'd like to see them, you know, find a way to make that a little bit more, you know, kind of gives a little bit more. I don't know if it's in the foam, if it's in the you know, metal structure, because it's all aluminum, you know, structure in there that's very, very stiff. But today we at least saw some collapse in the chassis, which I think needs. I really think that the fuel cell needs to move further forward. That's what's going to probably help. And you know, the Garage 56 car has that. So I think some of the things that we're seeing on the Garage 56 car, we might be able to see that into the future in our cars that we're racing as well.
All right, any further questions? All right, thank you. Kevin, Jeff, congratulations.